HawkFanatic.com. This segment brought to you by Patrick Eads and his great staff at Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Mike's E-Keys for Cars. GT Car and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Also, Drive-In Dreams Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Ox Yoke Inn in the Amanas. Streets Maintenance, doing remodeling and plumbing. Also, Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. And Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter. And I don't know, he's all excited that they've come to a verdict in the Diddy trial.
Well, I think it's confirmed that
Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com.
He had sex with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Some of them he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
here's the verdict.
He's going to go to jail for something, I would think.
And he should.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless they disagree with me, and then he'll go free.
Yeah.
And
I'm guessing the lesser charges.
I would imagine.
I bet they don't get him for racketeering.
Well, what do you think he'll get?
Well, they were saying, Eli Honig or whatever, he said that he could, if the lesser ones, Eli Honig, lesser ones, if the two lesser ones, like 10 years, but he'd be out in like 3 to 5, something like that. That's what I bet happens. But none of us know. We're just speculating.
And nothing changes because he'll just have sex in prison instead of out of prison.
Yeah, the level of the participant may change a little bit in the circumstances. Yeah, so, but we'll see. Maybe they did. Maybe they will get him on the racketeering because that's pretty much he's gone for good. If they get him for racketeering and that, I haven't paid much attention to it. I really don't care. I mean, I feel bad for the people that were victimized. Now, some of them sound like they allowed themselves to be victimized because they enjoyed the perks that came with it. So we'll see.
Well, this call will have all of the answers.
I know Karn's a huge P. Diddy fan, so it'll be interesting to see what she thinks.
Hello.
Hopefully somebody takes care of that Idaho murder of 4 kids in prison, too. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a drive-by statement.
Imagine they will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
oh, no, I think he'll be in a lot in solitary.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Oh, if you put people like him and Gen Pop, goodbye.
Yeah.
Imagine. They said he's getting love letters.
Hey, there are people.
I don't understand that at all, but it's true.
But there's a bunch of freaking weirdos in this.
It happens all the time.
There was this woman, and the woman was on the Howard Stern show, and she evidently lit on to us when we were on Ustream and wanted to be a psychic on the station. And I'm just, I'm brushing her off and saying we already got a psychic on the station, and she's telling me how she would she communicates with Jeffrey McDonald, the guy that killed her.
Yes, I know Jeffrey.
And she goes, I'm really drawn to serial killers.
Whatever. That's when you should have hung up or...
Basically, I did.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
These
people are idiots.
I said, well, how'd you like to come on our Hawk Fanatic?
Yeah, those people. Well, I don't... Does Spotify have a rule against...
serial killers?
No.
Just music.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Honest to God. And I thought, this is just...
So when are they going to finally read what the verdict is?
Well, they got to come in. I don't know. Well, I'll go to it when they read the verdict.
And these are state charges, right? You can't be pardoned?
Some are state. I think the racketeering...
Oh, the racketeering, that's federal, right? Because that's going to...
Yeah.
So I guess he could be pardoned on that.
Well, and it's been said that it's under consideration.
I think Trump said it. I heard him say it when he was asked.
Well, I didn't want to bring up his name.
Well, I mean, I'm not...
Yeah, Trump said
he was asked that question. He said he would consider it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
why wouldn't you pardon somebody that, Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Hawks.
Back to the Hawks.
I did not watch a second of the game last night.
I watched
what
all
channel,
of it.
What channel was it on?
Prime.
Yeah, see, I couldn't get it anyway, but With Caitlin not playing, I wasn't that interested.
It was, you've seen Game of Streaks before, and
I just can't believe they won without Caitlin.
They got behind by 13 points, and the last 8 minutes and, 30 seconds of the second quarter, the Lynx did not score.
Yeah, like I said, but regardless of I just still can't believe they won without Caitlin. It's wild. That should really help their confidence. But now, of course, there's people on Twitter. Oh, they play better without her. They're more team oriented without her.
Well, you knew that was coming.
I knew it was coming. It's out there. But like I said, I'm surprised that they've played as well without her as they have.
What the hell? Yeah, no, it was. They played well.
Chat room. I broke up with my ex. She was writing letters to her ex in prison.
They're just localizing it.
Because he owed her money and she was trying to get it. But I later found out she was still in love with him.
Wow.
It's our chat room today.
I mean, Ted Bundy was just deluged with
No,
love
there's
letters.
freaks out there. There's real freaks.
I think Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, he had.
Yeah.
I mean, just idiots out there. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, this world is one big Jerry Springer show.
Well, this country is anyway.
This country is, it's just one big Jerry Springer show.
Yeah.
It really
that's
is.
a bleak characterization, friend.
But it really is.
Yeah.
It's,
It's just a freak show.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. We'll see what he gets, but whatever he gets, it ain't gonna
whatever he
make a difference.
gets is whatever he gets.
And the Town Square station that operates on the tower I put up, 99.7, they put Diddy into heavy rotation. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Is that what he
now?
goes by now? Is it Diddy or is it Puffy or
Diddy?
Diddy?
Yeah.
Puffy, Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
Sean Puffy Combs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be puffed up.
He's been in jail. How long has he been in jail? For about 9 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be stunned if he walked. I don't see him walking away from this today. I've seen him, but I didn't think OJ was going to walk either. You know? I mean,
Hey, the gloves did not fit.
Yeah, I know. But that was...
You had to have quit.
No, they didn't. But they were making a statement. That was due to years of what they felt was judicial oppression. Can't we agree on that?
Yes, we
can. And that
can.
was their way of getting even. It came right after the Rodney King stuff.
Yeah. Well,
I had a buddy who was my buddy who calls in every once in a while lives in Maine. He was living in California during that Rodney King stuff, and I remember him saying it was crazy back then. God, to think, what was that, like 35 years ago?
God, that is crazy.
Wasn't Rodney King like 1990, 91, something
around
like that?
there.
Yeah.
Wow, it's
89,
crazy. I mean, hell,
90,
OJ was
something
31
like
years ago.
Yeah.
I remember I was covering the primetime draft when news broke that his wife had been killed. I remember sitting there writing Randy Larson's law office, and I'm like, wow, look at this.
So
31 years ago.
So back to the Hawks. I did enjoy Rob Howe's videos.
Yeah, those are good. And he did a photo gallery, and then I wrote a column last night, posted it, and then I reposted it this morning. Do I think this team's going to win the Big Ten title? No. I mean, it's easier to pick one of the other 17.
Well, sure.
But she has assembled an intriguing collection of players and talent from unusual places. I mean, center from Alaska, center from Oregon, forward from the Dominican Republic, point guard from Atlanta, Georgia. Those are just places Iowa went.
And it's interesting, and very interesting, eclectic mix. Now, can the pieces fit together?
Yeah, and then, of course, Addie Deal from California, a place they haven't hardly recruited. So it's interesting.
Hello.
Hello. Does anybody know why Gabe Arnold was dismissed?
I've heard, but I'm not going to say it on the air. I mean, I've heard speculation and stuff, but it's not, it's not worth. I mean, unless he's saying it, obviously there's a disagreement on some stuff, and you just got to move on.
No, they're putting out a special report on this Diddy trial.
Do you have any Diddy records in your collection, Carl?
Or any memories?
No.
Any favorite stories?
I have no favorites.
What about the freak
He's
outs?
accused of quite a few things.
Yeah.
It's not good.
What about the freak outs?
Yeah, the freak off.
I tell you.
Freak offs, okay.
when you get all that, when you have all that kind of money, why do you go out and waste your life?
Because you can.
Yeah.
And as far as the Gabe Arnold thing, I mean, the stuff on social media said he's been dismissed from the team. All an Iowa spokesperson told me yesterday that he is no longer on the team. Iowa's not going to say specifically what the circumstances are, and that's their prerogative. And who knows? Maybe Gabe doesn't want. But obviously, there's something.
Something has.
Well, obviously, it's something that's against the rules.
Well, we don't know that. We don't. I'm not saying that he broke any rules or anything. There's been a breakdown in trust and communication, and it looks like both sides are moving on. That's all I will say.
I've heard some things too, but I was just kind of wondering what.
Yeah, you're hearing the same stuff. I mean.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't. Nothing about any breaking the law or anything like that. It's not. It's just sometimes things don't work out. You hope that kid.
I just kept thinking that he had a lot of potential, and I thought that he was going to really be great in the wrestling, but.
Well, he may somewhere else.
That's too bad.
I mean, I've heard Iowa State and Minnesota, Northern Iowa are all possible destinations for him.
I heard that he wanted to book Diddy at Kinnick.
Would Diddy fill Kinnick?
Yeah.
Yeah, but half of them wouldn't make it through the metal detectors. So.
Okay, guys. Well, listen and see what Diddy did. So.
All right, thanks, Karen.
Okay, we'll see you. Bye.
Karen is into Diddy.
She's into Diddy.
I liked it.
Wants to know what.
It's good, solid call.
She wants to know what Diddy did.
No, but Rob puts a little header on his clips.
Yeah.
So you know what you're going to see.
And he edits it all into one video, whereas a lot of people put up.
Nobody else does that.
A lot of people break them. Well, a lot of people break them into because it looks like they have more content.
They do break it down, but they don't have headers.
Yeah, no, I mean, and
they're not as much fun to watch.
And the other thing about Rob's video was it's free on the only website that's giving you free video. Not against subscriptions or whatever, but you don't need any of that with Hawk Fanatic.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a great selling point. Oh, and we remember Kinnick Under the Kitchen, our artist, who's really good. He's back advertising. Randy Engel out of Mitchellville. He doesn't call in as much as he used to, but he does really good. He does really good artwork. And
was his commercial okay?
Yeah, it was fine. This is the first podcast we've done since you did. Since we've recorded it, but you've seen his artwork. It's good.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's really good. I did get a kick out of it, though, when he mentioned Brad Banks, Spencer Lee, and Reese Vanderzee. Nothing against Reese Vanderzee, but I'm not sure he's quite in the Brad Banks or Spencer Lee.
Yeah.
But that also shows you, though, that Randy, he paints all different Hawkeye athletes, and who knows, maybe Reese Vanderzee will be a star someday.
Well, maybe he will.
His biggest problem last year was he just was injured.
Yeah.
He felt a lot of injuries, but I liked his potential early. Now, he did struggle in that game against Ohio State, but that was a man that was guarding him on the corner.
P. Diddy acquitted of most serious charges, guilty of prostitution.
Okay, yeah. See, he's not going to get. I mean, God, will he even go to jail?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's listen.
Yeah, go ahead and listen.
Who is the girlfriend that he was dating as well, and guilty of the transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, Elizabeth, this is very, very significant. We had an inkling yesterday when there was a hung jury on the initial RICO charge, the most serious, that there might be an actual acquittal there or a hung jury. The prosecution insisted on having it keep going. The defense wanted it to keep going. And now we know they have a result. It is a not guilty verdict. Talk to me more broadly here, because the Prostitution Act, people thought it was kind of a low-hanging fruit. He was found guilty of those, but not sex trafficking of Cassie.
This is the best possible outcome for the defense. This is what, of course they wanted a full acquittal, but if you're not getting a full acquittal, this is what they wanted. Their client is now not facing life in prison. He is facing 2 separate charges that he was convicted on. Serious charges. They each carry a maximum of 10 years. So this isn't nothing that we are talking about. But the most serious charges he has been acquitted on. As Laura said, days of testimony from Cassie Ventura, from Jane. Cassie being on the stand for 4 days. Jane being on the stand for 6 days. These women crying, breaking down on the stand. Well, guess what? The jury did not believe most of their story, or even if they believed most of their story, it did not line up with those charges. So,
and by the way, on that point, let's talk a little bit about that, because there was an inkling for those people who had been in the courtroom, including ourselves, who had been watching the testimony. Remember what they were using as the defense to counter the sex trafficking. It was free will. They were talking about free will, and they were suggesting, while the prosecution said any bait and switch or manipulation to coerce these women by fraud or threat or otherwise to engage in these so-called freak-offs, that force, that cloud of force and threat and violence that had hung over the head of Cassie Ventura was enough to suggest that she never could develop the free will to say no. And when it came to Jane, the idea of manipulating her to travel to places like New York under the pretenses of quality time and shopping, only to then engage in freak-offs, was enough of manipulation. Well, the defense, was very clear. They kept saying free will. These are grown women making grown-up decisions who have an interest in engaging in this behavior. It seems that the jurors, maybe looking at text messages or testimony, agreed with that sentiment.
absolutely. And we were just talking about some of those.
Okay. So
Yeah.
he could get 10 to 20.
Or could he get off with time served?
Well, I'm sure there'll be some time served, but I think he'll get a little bit of prison.
I bet months at the. I bet he's not in there for another year. No, this is a huge win for him.
I'll bet he's hosting a cooking show within 3 months.
With Martha Stewart.
I'm guessing. I'm not trying to enter the minds of the jurors. I'm guessing a lot of them, if this was so bad, a lot of these people kept coming back. They kept benefiting from the perks of this.
That's what.
And I can see why there would be some doubt in the jury's mind.
Yeah.
People kept coming back because they like to have sex.
And they like the drugs and the perks and all the money.
Well, the defense used free will. These are grown women.
Yes.
These weren't kids.
I mean, he wasn't. I don't believe he was taking them by, gunpoint and holding them hostage. They were partying and, it's just.
Now I got to talk to Lang about canceling his freak-offs.
Oh, Lang was going to have.
He's never invited me.
No, you would just put a damper on it.
That'd be the star.
You just put a damper on it.
Who usually goes to his freak-offs? Say somebody. Is it? Just,
I know Hunter goes.
Because if it's just Lang, it's something different than a freak-off.
No, it's just Lang.
And it better not be Molly.
Then it's called something different. You change the name freak with
just Lang.
You replace the word freak with. Do I say it?
A Lang off?
No, I was going to say.
No, you don't say it.
You know the word it starts with a J and ends with a K and has an E on R?
I gotcha.
No. Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
We're there.
All right.
Should I say it?
But no, this is kind of how I thought it would play out. Lesser charge. I did wonder though if they'd get him for they didn't even get him for the sex trafficking either. They just got him for the lesser of all the charges.
Yeah.
And do people that get charged with do they serve a lot of jail time?
No, I don't think so.
And he has been in for 6 to 9 months.
He might skate.
I wouldn't be surprised if he walked today. He has a freak.
Well, they haven't.
He's got a.
I mean, this is just a verdict. This isn't unless they sentence him today.
Yeah, probably not.
He's got a freak off scheduled for tonight. I'm guessing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, money bought him great lawyers. He had great lawyers. I'm just glad it's over. You go from the spending bill to the freak off. That's how the or it would be the freak off then the spending bill. Those are always the two big news stories. But.
I mean, honest to God.
You're not into the freak-offs?
No. He could have saved himself a lot of money, gone to Costco, and got one giant jar
That's
of
true.
lube. He didn't have to buy 1,000 little jars.
No.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lube stuff, I just...
Ew.
Back to the Hawks. This show... So far, pretty odd.
I've been trying.
No, we did have we had a press conference yesterday with the Iowa women. We were able to watch practice, as Tom said. Rob shot that video for an hour, and then we had interviews with Tegan Mullaney, chit chat, right, and Ava Hayden. And I've actually got some I can actually call some up. And it was and then we got assistant coach Lysandra Barrett too. We were able to talk to those, and then we have 2 more press conferences with the women's team this summer, and we have one more with men's basketball and one more with football. I believe football we have one next Tuesday.
We got chit-chat on that.
We've got 2 chit-chats.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, why don't you chit-chat. Oh, you've got it on recording?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's listen to chit-chat.
You want to hear chit-chat?
Yeah.
Okay, you always want to surround yourself with good people in your circle. So, yes, they did attract me here, the people, the teammates, my coaches, the staff, everybody. You want to surround yourself with great people so that you're able to play and smile through everything. You don't want to come to work like, oh, another day. You want to come happy and ready to go. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've got quotes from her, too, but, I mean, I don't know. Where'd you get those from?
I have no idea. I didn't do the story.
But yeah, just go ahead and play those. Won't bother using mine.
Are yours better?
Longer? No, I mean, they're just mine. We don't know who those are.
The quality, I think it's the university.
No, it's not. The university did not shoot video yesterday. Okay. They shot action. But that's fine. I mean, it was not the university's.
Okay, that's somebody's.
Yeah, what the hell?
We got it. It's ours.
All right, chit-chat again.
It's not yours.
She's very, she knows how to, express her emotions a lot. She, text and just, call and, are you okay? Are you okay? So she, outside of basketball, she checks on you, and that's something that a lot of coaches don't do. So you don't see that very often.
So now, did you have any, were you surprised by anybody yesterday? I mean, did you say, wow, this is something I didn't expect?
No, but I wrote a column that kind of explains my observations. I mean, that's...
I didn't see your column. I saw
I posted it last night, and I reposted it this morning. But
I'll read it.
But, no, I mean, it's hard to... I mean, I don't know. You're watching for an hour. No, nothing's really surprised me.
I thought Rob's video, I thought Layla Hayes looked awfully good. But, again, it's their drills,
Yeah, they're drills against guys who aren't necessarily playing at, 100%.
Yeah.
They're not. But no, I think Layla Hayes. That's a big part of my article this morning. Is she's intriguing. She's 6'4". She can use both hands. But at this level, most teams have a 6'4" center who can, play with both hands. This is big time women's college basketball. So, she still has to do it at this stage, and Ava still has to establish this. I like their potential in the post. It's potential right now because neither one, Layla hasn't played a second at this level, and Ava was inconsistent last year. She came on strong at the end.
Yep.
So, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how they work them together.
But she seemed very engaging and...
Who?
Ava Hayden.
Oh, she always is. Yeah. She's very easy to interview. Chit Chat was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all nice. They're all easy to interview. Covering the women team, everyone's happy. The media loves them. It's just one big love fest. The media is more optimistic. The hardcore media that covers the women on it, they're more pro Iowa than Iowa is sometimes. We got a different media than we did 30 years ago. Media's changed all over, not just here. There's way more fandom, way more media influencers who are big fans of the beat they cover because it brings attention to them if the team's successful. And a lot of people, with the way stuff is now, find jobs that will help them cover teams that they grew up cheering and love, and it's one big love fest. And that's fine. Now, it does make it hard if you want to have to be somewhat objective and still write things that are somewhat critical because you stand out for being a hater. But stuff that I write now, 30 years ago would have been par for the course, but you just don't have a lot of people taking that approach anymore. Everyone takes the more let's toe the company line approach, and that's fine. That's the way we want to be. I just don't like doing it that way.
Well, you try to remain as objective as possible, and I think that's good.
And 90% of what I write is positive because that's just the way it is. Iowa hasn't had athletes get most of what Iowa does is good. Now, the Brian Ferentz stuff, I was critical. He wasn't, the racial stuff, I expressed concerns on that too, and that cost me. Well, it cost me Twitter followers, like I care. But no, it's just a different. People ask me what's changed the most about your job over the last 30 years. It would be the approach from the media. There's way more Homer fans covering teams now everywhere, not just Iowa. And that's not a criticism. That's just a fact.
It is a fact.
That's just a fact. That's
Yep.
just the way. When I first got into it, it was newspapers, radio, and television. And a lot of times the people that were working at these newspapers weren't even from here. They didn't go to Iowa. But now, there's tons of Iowa grads. It's just a completely different atmosphere. I'm not saying it's worse.
The whole media landscape is completely
it's
different.
Just complete. There's just way more fans, and that's just the way it is. And you got people that are really concerned about pushing their Twitter brand and stuff like that. It's just a different animal.
Well, it is, and it's different for the players too. Like Sophie Cunningham, 1 million TikTok followers. Why would you?
Well, that's
I just
social,
don't even get that.
That's social media. I look and see. Why are there? You'll look and see. There's 200 million people following Elon Musk,
and there's people that make millions of dollars just by having
engagement on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of these political people, especially there's a ton of right wing. They just spend all day trying to ignite engagement, and that's how they get paid. And they get paid lots of money.
Incredible, isn't it?
I could not imagine spending all day on Twitter just fighting politically. That would just, I don't care how much money you could make. But there's a lot of right-wing people that's what they do. That's just what they do.
And left-wing.
There's left-wing too, but not as, it doesn't seem
not
like
as much.
Not as many, at least from what I see.
Well, that's his algorithm.
Yeah, but no, both sides have them.
But I'll tell you something; it'll change if he's gonna start a third party.
Yeah, I'll believe it when
Musk?
I see it. It'll fade. It'll fizz.
Yeah. The American Party.
It'll fizzle. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll sustain.
No.
The American Party.
The American. We're Americans.
I'm surprised he didn't call it like the Patriot Party, because that seems to be a word that everybody throws around now. You're not a patriot. You don't know what it means to be a patriot. But no, it's just a different landscape. And like I said, there's always a real positive vibe around the women's team. Lisa created that vibe. Jan has carried that on. They're winning. They won 23 games last year. And like I said, the media loves them. And that's good for the women. But the media that covers them on a consistent basis just loves the team. And Caitlin had a lot to do with that. The media really benefited from her 4 years and what it brought to everybody, attention-wise and clicks and all that stuff and branding. Because a lot of people, it's all about pushing your brand on social media.
But Lisa was very good at creating the culture. And
yeah.
It's very, very positive.
Now, they always have had a good culture, but they didn't always win at an exceptionally high level. But once they combine the two together, then it was, wow, let's latch onto this.
Did you read Dick Vitale's message about Caitlin?
No.
The other votes?
The outrage about being picked ninth?
Oh, by the players?
By the players. Yeah.
I saw, I think Dallas Jones tweeted his outrage, too. Are you outraged?
Well, if you go by stats this year, maybe,
Well, if you go by stats this year, she probably wouldn't even be ninth.
That's what I'm
saying.
But
I think if you look at it objectively, I'm not saying she's the best player, but she's in the top three. I would say Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
Probably Nafisha Collier and Caitlin.
Nafisha was poor last night.
But Caitlin has struggled this year. She just has. She's really struggled. She's averaging 6 turnovers a game, and she's shooting 29% from three.
And I'm sorry, Nafisha was not poor last night. She wasn't
what
superstar. She had been lately.
Yeah. So, but I saw that. I did not see Dick Vitale's tweet. I'm glad Dick's healthy and cancer free, so he can start, sharing his thoughts again. He's got his brand he's got to push, and he is cancer free.
Doesn't he got to be about 90 by
He's
now?
getting up there. He's a good person. He's
I
nice.
agree.
Now I got tired of him on games, and I do think that he gives
diaper dandy, baby.
He gives way too much attention to the coaches. When he used to do Duke games with Coach K, God, it was a love fest. But he's a good man.
He's 86.
The few times I've been around him, he's been so polite, and he treats everybody the same way. He's not one of those big timer guys. He doesn't.
No, I think he's really kind of humble about how he got where.
Well, yeah,
he is.
because he was fired as a coach. He was a great coach for Detroit. I don't know if you guys remember, but he had a team with Terry Durod, Earl Curitan, and John Long at Detroit University in the late 70s. That was really good. And then I think he went to the NBA. That didn't work out. And he was one of the pioneers with ESPN. I remember 79, 1980.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, who is this guy? And it worked. He's made millions of dollars, but he's also donated millions of dollars.
I loved him right off, but I've grown tired of him over the years.
But I first heard him doing the commentary on a strongman contest when ESPN didn't have any real sports. He said the NBA players pure jealousy.
That's been the narrative.
Players, yeah.
Hello.
Maybe there is some of that.
Hello.
I'm sure there probably is.
Hey, guys. Hey, Pat, did you ever know Sid Hartman?
I mean, I've been around him and had him tell a worker of mine that they were sitting in his seat. But no, I did not. I did not have much interaction with him.
I went to a presentation last week. It was about how Jewish mobsters ran the north side of Minneapolis back in the day. They didn't have Italian mobsters. They had Jewish mobsters. But apparently Sid Hartman was really tied up with these guys. Just totally intertwined.
Really? Yeah, I did not know that.
Nor I.
I just thought that was really odd. I know he was a cantankerous old guy, and him and Gus Schrader had a long feud.
No, I heard about that. I've heard about encounters he's had in the press box. Yeah, I was around him a lot. I mean, for 20 years, just on the beat basis when the Press Citizen used to travel to everything. But there was one time when somebody I traveled with sat in his chair and Sid got all, hey, it was like, oh my God, it's Sid Hartman's chair. How could see? That's when I'm like, I go, this guy takes himself way too serious, and he did.
Yeah.
So now, Gus Schrader, was he Red Peppers?
Red Peppers.
Yeah.
Yep, he was Red Peppers.
I remember Sid Hartman also one time. Minnesota, I remember it was Ben Sobieski and Mike Dolezal, a linebacker. They both committed to Iowa. They were big Minnesota recruits, highly sought after, and they picked Iowa, and Sid ripped them in a column. And I remember thinking, what the hell? Why would you ever get so involved with your job to where you care where a kid goes to school? I mean, I've never figured that out.
High school kid. It's a high school kid. I mean, that's their future.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love the show. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
So, yeah, I don't have.
He might go free today.
Oh, I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you. That freak off.
His attorneys saying he should be released from custody. The prosecution is opposing.
Because he's already served probably more time than most people do for prostitution, haven't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Free Diddy. Free Diddy. Is that that's going to be his new name, Free Diddy.
Free Diddy.
Well, prostitution isn't it generally throw them in the slammer for a
night
and then out they go.
Yeah, out they go and get back to work
I've
again.
learned a lot about it by watching SVU lately.
I'm sure.
I never watched that show before.
What's SVU?
It's a Special Victims Unit of Law and Order, and it deals with sex crimes. And at that time that it first came out, Jan was dealing with that in social services, and we just didn't want to, think about it all the time. But I've been watching it lately because it's not a rerun to me. It's a damn good show.
It really is. Did you see where Mariska Hargitay's got a documentary out about her mom?
Yeah.
Are you going to watch it?
Yeah.
Jane Mansfield?
I've always been, yeah. She did not get decapitated.
Well, that's the story.
Yeah, but that's not
true?
That's what I've read is not true.
Well, I doubt that Mariska will be talking about that a lot.
No. No, or heads will roll.
And with that,
let's take a break.
All right, we'll be right back.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
for a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime. Find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Hertine and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Hertine and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Hertine and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HertineandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
You take great care to maintain your home or business inside and out. But maybe, just maybe, there's something missing. Something that makes your home stand out among the others in your neighborhood. Something that makes your business pop and increases traffic. Something that you can change and customize at your command. Well, there's a solution, and that's Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuminlights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illuminlights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuminlight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen and bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
On an athletic team, you need team players, good athletes, superior equipment, and the best coaches available. In real estate, you need to have a good title and settlement team at your disposal. Hi, this is Steve Anderson. Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing, you need quality title and settlement services. Consider the team at Hawkeye Title. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier, for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy 20,000 square foot indoor facility holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top-level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurant at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you. GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit Supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
We've said it for years. We want to give you our best price or most competitive price up front, and now Ford's brought that to the table.
Just makes you feel good. Patrick Eads and Terry Adams with Deary Ford.
It's a true Ford employee pricing plan.
As if you work for Ford or you're a retiree from Ford.
You could walk in and buy a new Ford for less money than I could purchase one for.
I have never seen Ford do a sale like this.
The From America, for America event.
Sale extended through July 6th. Deary Ford, Iowa City. When we say here for you, we mean it.
It's a great deal.
At the Oxyoke Inn, we're ready to serve you with the same fresh food, prepared to order and served with a passion that you've come to expect for over 85 years. The Oxyoke Inn is serving our famous Sunday brunch buffet with lunch, dinner, family-style banquets, and carry-out daily. Make reservations at oxyokeinn.com or call for big or small tables and private rooms. We can't wait to serve you soon at the Oxyoke Inn.
The Oxyoke
in the heart of Amana.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
We are going to have some very typical summertime weather right on into the 4th of July holiday weekend. In fact, we are going to hold the thunderstorms off until after the 4th, but we do have a few scattered thunderstorms possible late Saturday, Saturday night, and Sunday. Today, mostly sunny. We'll get to 88 for a high this afternoon. We may catch an isolated thunderstorm tonight, late tonight, our low 67 tomorrow. Sunny, high of 90. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, it's 78.
KCJJ weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Hey, got convicted of prostitution.
Hey, how about that?
They're applauding. The people in the courtroom are applauding.
Well, maybe they're
Well, that's his friends and family that were relieved he didn't get the more serious charges. I mean, that's I would assume. I'm not condoning it.
I don't know.
Those aren't the freak off.
Well, they said it was his family and friends that were the ones who applauded.
All right.
I don't think any of the victims were applauding.
I would hope not. He's faced the.
But what are they waiting on? The lawyers to come out and talk? Is that why they're just?
No, they're making their arguments. Why, the defense attorney is arguing, if he should be, he's arguing he should be released now, and the prosecution is opposing it. I don't know they lost.
But why do they keep showing that door as if somebody's going to walk out of it any second?
Because Diddy might walk out of it.
And he might not.
Yeah. And then it'll be a big star again.
Well, this just looks like every Law and Order show ever, showing doors, stairs.
No, except something usually happens by now.
See, I paid absolutely no attention to this guy before this, and I will pay no attention to him. I've just never.
You're going to buy Diddy
I've
albums.
never ever heard any. Does he sing and perform? Is he a performer? Yeah, I've never heard. I just couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about any of that stuff.
Well, he's probably made $100 million. Hasn't he?
He's worth more than that. I mean, he's worth way more than that.
Let's see what Diddy's worth.
But like I said, I just don't have any interest in anything that he's ever done.
And I don't know that I've ever heard a single second of his.
But I think most of his money was made as a producer, than him as a performer. I would think, from what little I've read about him.
Both. I mean, he's had. Let's see, Diddy net worth.
2 counts of transportation for prostitution. That's what they got him on. 2 counts.
Estimated to be $400 million.
Wow.
God, you can get a lot of prostitutes for $400 million.
Yeah.
And I think this may help his brand when he'll have more cred.
Of course,
he'll have more street cred.
Yeah. And then you'll turn on, and he'll be on 2020, and he'll be on Dateline, and all that crap.
You think he'll somehow get immersed in the political division?
I don't know.
Well, if he doesn't, Pat, somebody will get him involved with it somehow.
And I mean,
that
Kanye is, supporting him.
Kanye's goofy AF.
Yeah,
he
seriously,
is.
Yeah, people take advantage of it. He is mentally ill. He's seriously mentally ill, and people that know him and producers that have worked with him and everything. He really is talented, but he's just killing his brand or whatever you want to call it, because he's just so mentally ill. I mean, they just and it's not just the Nazi stuff. They try to communicate with him, and he's on a different plane.
Different level. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hey.
It's not just a simple prostitution charge where somebody goes down the corner and hires a prostitute. It's interstate transportation of prostitution, the old Mann Act, which has taken down a lot of people over the years. So, it's still a prostitution charge, but it's much more serious than simple prostitution.
So what could he get? So what could he get?
He could get several years.
But he's already served almost a year.
Yeah. And, I think what they're arguing now is he's been held on pretrial detention because of racketeering charges. So if he's been exonerated on those,
he's been exonerated.
For the Mann Act, he may get released.
He's been exonerated. Yeah, I think that's why I think he's going to get released.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks. I think with the time he has served, that's going to be enough to get him released.
I thought the Mann Act was more taking underage people over the border, across the borders.
People are walking out. Is that his family?
They're smiling.
They're smiling. Let's listen in.
The courtroom after a delay. It is very serious. His kids are filing in. His mother's there. His sister is there. And his mom and sister have been there for the majority of this trial, which has been for several weeks. Once the judge gets on the bench and says that they have a verdict, it is silent. Everybody is waiting for the judge. Combs is just sitting there, sitting down with his head down. He's got his glasses on. It looks like he's reading something, but he is not reacting in this moment. His lawyers' faces are drawn. They actually are frowned. They're very nervous, his legal team. And then the jury comes out. No jurors look at Combs. They all file into their seats.
Wait, tell me about that. These jurors have come in. They came in yesterday, and they actually started straight ahead, I understand, when they had that hung part. Now they didn't look at him either.
Okay, well, they're just rehashing crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Poor Diddy.
P. Diddy.
I
haven't heard one second of his music.
Nor do I want to.
And we can't play it right now either.
No, we don't have any here.
Yeah.
We don't. Okay, Mann Act, known as the White Slave Traffic Act, United States federal law enacted in 1910. It prohibits the transportation of individuals across state lines or international borders for immoral purposes, primarily aimed at combating sex trafficking, initially targeting the transportation of women and girls for prostitution. The law's broad wording has been used in various cases, including those involving consensual sexual activity and celebrities.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So there's your Mann Act.
All right. So there you go.
Yeah. So I don't care.
It's just so weird.
Whether he gets out or whether.
So are they going to keep the camera on this until either he?
Yes. Yes, it's CNN.
And these women are already out of things to talk about. I mean, they've already.
Yeah, they're reaction stuff. Well, what are you going to say? I mean, but they got to stand there. And the one on the Laura Coates, the one on the right, is just freaking brilliant. And she's been a federal prosecutor and.
Is that the gal in the pink coat?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's just freaking brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know either of them.
I got a crush on her.
You do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they're cutting away.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
You got to pay the
there
bills.
You go.
Got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Into the pharmaceuticals immediately.
Yeah, into poop pills.
You.
Well, that's what it is. Colace.
Oh, God.
I'm getting my colonoscopy, second one, sometime this month. Haven't scheduled it yet. Consultation a week from yesterday.
Yeah.
Where they tell you. I mean, once you've had it done once, you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah.
I haven't set up a date yet, though. So, and if I have to push it back to August or whatever, I will. But you watch. The day I put it out, the day I schedule it, some press conference will be scheduled like a week later. It happens all the time. No matter what date I pick, there ends up being some type of press conference. Then you got Big Ten Football Media Day in Vegas on the 24th. I'm not going to Vegas. I'm going to cover it from home. I covered it from home last year, and it didn't make any difference. They play the whole thing on television, and, I mean...
You're not going to Vegas.
I know a lot of people are flying. I know some people in the media are flying Allegiant, but they have to leave on Monday and can't come back until Friday because Allegiant has
That's right.
Monday and Friday straight. So I know somebody in the media who's going to be there 5 days to cover Big Ten kickoff luncheon, and that to me that's just hemorrhaging money for reasons you don't need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure the championship game is going to be played in Vegas at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm sure it'll be played in L.A. at some point. It wouldn't surprise me if Media Day are held in L.A. at some point. I mean, that's just the way we're going. Vegas, I'm predicting that football game will be played in Vegas within the next 3 to 5 years. It'll just be too enticing for them to pass up.
I'll bet you are 100% right.
Yeah.
And, they can say what they want. Oh, gambling. Gambling's a big part of it now.
Huge.
It's a big part of the landscape.
Huge part of it.
I don't think they care anymore. Gambling to them, they're making too much money off of it, and
too many people enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And it's become mainstream now.
Absolutely, completely mainstream. Yep.
The sports stations, though, that are resting their reputations and listenership on gambling alone are failing. They're not getting the ratings that I mean, it is a big business and a big part, but I don't know that you want to listen to it 24 hours a day because it's not producing.
Listen to what 24
radio.
hours a day?
There are sports stations that just do gambling.
Oh God, no, that would.
And they just talk gambling.
Yeah, I couldn't listen to. I couldn't do that I couldn't do anything for 24 hours.
I couldn't do that for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I really couldn't. I don't care.
They're not. Yeah, they're not succeeding with it.
Yeah.
You know, they thought, well, everybody gambles, so if we talk about gambling all the time.
Yeah, but those people are going to gamble whether they're talking about it or not.
Yeah.
That's what they don't seem to understand. People have been gambling.
Gambling's more a personal thing than it is an en masse thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it is. And a lot of people would like to keep it to themselves. And, most people I know, they love to tell you when they win, but they rarely tell you when they lose.
And that is the universal truth, Mr. Harty.
Well, that's what I said to you. Billy would come in, and Billy, I won $4,000.
Yeah.
But I don't.
And he did.
But, but then he'd go, oh, they beat me up. What'd you lose? $100. And I go, wait, last week you won $4,000.
Well, most gamblers do not finish ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the fact.
Well, or else
those palaces in Las Vegas wouldn't exist if people were winning all the time.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Well, I got $7 on a lottery ticket the other week. Yes. So
see, the thing about the lottery, though, is it isn't any fun. See, the gambling, at least for me, when we go to Vegas and stuff, it's fun. Lottery isn't fun.
I got 4 Diet Cokes on that winnings.
Yeah, 4 from here?
Yeah.
Now, actually, Molly said she went out and this actually has become a good deal here, the $1.25 Diet Cokes compared to the Quick Stop or something, the Quick Trip, or it was more expensive than here.
Well, the bottles, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, no, those are like up to close to $3.
Yeah,
Bottles of what?
Diet Coke.
Oh.
They're like $3.29 or something.
Well, the smart water I buy is $3.
Yeah.
And I drink. These ones are $2.50, but the little bigger one's $3, and I can drink one. You drink 2 of those a day, that's $6.
Do you feel any brighter?
No, I don't. But you drink 2. You can spend $180, $200 a month on just freaking bottled water.
See, you could come in here and fill that up for nothing.
See, I feel guilty sometimes when I spend money on beer, but I don't feel guilty when I spend money on water. But water ain't cheap.
You could fill it up for nothing.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm going to start driving out here once a day to fill up. I spend more on gas to drive out here to fill up the water bottle. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
No, but you could fill that up before you leave.
I'm just trying to be generous. Just trying to.
Is that water safe in there?
Yeah. Yes. It's calling it.
I see Wopsy licking that lever all the time when she's in here. Got her tongue all over that thing.
I haven't seen.
I have. Like when he gets about water, Wopsy will come up and start licking that thing.
She doesn't get up to the spigot, but
it's like her own freak off.
I think that's just fine.
Football is right around the corner, though, man. July is going to be gone before you know it. And
so are you starting to
get into the football mode? No,
at all?
No, not at all, not yet. I mean, I've been doing it for so long. I mean, what are you going to get fired up for on July 2nd? We're 2 months from the. We're what? Is it August 30th? Is that the season opener or 31st?
Yes.
So yeah, we're just slightly under 2 months from the season starting. Hard to believe. It's like April, May, and June never happened, and I say that every year. Yeah. I mean, every year. I mean, it's amazing how fast those 3 months go. And now looking at the forecast, the problem with this time of year is it's not fun to be outside.
No.
Because it's just so damn hot and humid. I mean, and when are we going to get rain again?
This weekend, on and off.
My grass is starting to show.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday, there's storm chances.
Yeah. The key word is chance.
Yeah.
But, man, I could assure you I'm going to probably have to water today. But my grass is starting to slow down, and I'm starting to see a little brown tint.
It's browning a little bit.
That summer, July brown tint, and then crabgrass will start popping up. But, no, this has been a tough stretch these last 10 days, humidity-wise.
Whatever they do because I did notice the other day, I usually don't look at the lawn, but I did notice the other day, whatever Caru's doing to the lawn, it's really nice and green.
Well, my grass is way better this year than it's been the last couple of years, and I'm using a different lawn service this year. So I don't know if that's it. I'm using Amalon lawn service now, And it's, like I said, it's just less weeds. And they don't do as many treatments as the previous one. They do 5, and the previous one, I think, did 7. And so, yeah, no, my grab. But it's going to eventually it's going to start fading because the heat. And we just don't seem like we get much rain anymore in the summer. It just seems like we're getting drier every year, you know?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
do you think that's, it seems like that. Do you think that's actually true?
No, I'm sure it's probably a
woke.
Yeah. I'm sure it's probably a trend or whatever. I don't know. But it sure seems like the East Coast is getting slammed this spring and summer.
Yes, it does.
I mean, like Maryland and Virginia, West Virginia, they've had a ton of rain. North Carolina. And for us, it's just we barely get anything. Yeah. And it seems like they're getting way more up north than us, too. Like Cedar Rapids and above.
Yeah.
It seems like they've had way more rain.
We've been really, we're in some kind of.
Well, we've been lucky in some ways, but we need some rain, wouldn't you like to have a little more?
Yes.
I would like to have a little more rain.
But it's odd that the storms have missed us.
They miss us.
Yeah, and it's been like that for the last year, actually.
At least a year, and it seems like sometimes they miss us by like 10, 15 miles.
Yeah.
It's not like it's way off. It's just been weird.
Cedar Rapids got a ton of. And then we
I wonder if it has anything at all to do with the interstate. Somehow, some way, because it does seem like it's a delineation of some kind. Cedar Rapids gets way more, and Washington gets way more.
We're protected by I-80. It's our friend. It's saving us from severe weather. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Huh? I think it's our liberal bent.
I think it's all the roundabouts. The weather's just like, no, we're not going over those stupid roundabouts. I saw some big semi trying to turn in one of those things. I felt so sorry for the guy. He's practically taking out the landscaping in the middle. You got to think the semi's like, why the hell am I having to deal with this freaking roundabout?
I'm on Sycamore, and this woman just goes right over it.
And went over the thing in the middle?
Yeah.
Oh, you can see the ones that I have no
right
intent.
Over, and the car, I don't know, the car was, I don't know, it was, like, have you ever seen the dog's head, how it bounces in the cars?
Yeah.
She had one of those dog heads, and it was just.
So where's the roundabout at Sycamore? I'm not.
By the school?
There's 2 of them.
Roundabout by Sycamore Mall?
No,
on Sycamore.
On Sycamore Drive. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never
what
go.
Is it Alexander School?
Yeah, just past that roundabout.
Oh, that one. Okay, that's if I take the long one.
Just went right over.
But I'm pretty good at spotting the ones who I know aren't going to stop. I know they have no clue what the roundabout is. They're just going to go no matter what. Then you just got to be on the watch for them. But this poor semi, it was just such a massive semi. It was having trouble making the turn in this thing. And he finally got through, but I thought for sure he was going to take out that center landscape.
They're not designed for semis, are they?
No, they're not. They're not designed for me either.
Yeah, or snowplows.
I hate them. I just don't like them. Because people take advantage of them. And
I mean, they're not stop signs. If it's safe to go, you go. If there's somebody there, you can't go.
There's been at least 10 times I can think in my head where I had the right to go. Had I gone, though, it would have been a wreck.
Hello.
You ever run into these people that go around the roundabout the wrong direction and look at you like you're doing something stupid?
I've never seen someone go the wrong direction in a roundabout yet.
No,
I've not seen that.
Except when I was in Ireland.
Smaller ones.
I've seen people cut me off and not have the right of way, and then I react, and they're like, what do you react? They're clueless as to why I'm reacting. I've seen that.
No. On a couple of the smaller roundabouts, I've had people do that.
Wow.
Just go the wrong way about it.
It would be kind of fun if you could get away with it.
Thanks.
But I'll tell you, it's hard to get anywhere right now without. It was funny. I was going to cover the women's press conference at Carver yesterday, and I said to myself, you can't go Court Street because it's basically shut down. So I'm going to take Rochester. So I drive up First Avenue, start heading up the hill. Half of that lane is shut down. It's bumper to bumper. And then you get up to Rochester, and they're still working on that little intersection there. And there's just construction everywhere.
Although that's almost done.
The one on First Avenue?
Yes.
Yeah, that didn't look like it was going to be long-term. But I'll tell you, I felt sorry for the cars that were heading south on First Avenue coming down the hill from where Sugar Ray works. Because when I went by there, because they had to yield to us because there was nobody. There was probably 15 cars just waiting for our flow of traffic to stop. And it was just but the Court Street, I stay away from that at all costs.
Oh,
That
God,
is
that's
just
a cluster.
That is just a mess.
When they first got that roundabout, when we were on the landing, and I was sitting outside of Vesta with Spiewak, and we saw this car go around just like
Keep
four
going around.
or 5 times. I swear to God. Didn't know how to get off of it. Yeah.
I don't have any problem with them.
I'm used to them. I don't care for them.
I'm getting used to them. I just think they're stupid.
Yeah.
But I guess they're good for school traffic flow. It causes cars to slow down. But there's just too much violating of the rules, and people rely on other people just to let them do it. Because if not, you're going to have wrecks.
Listen,
people don't know when to yield.
The first time that I ever experienced it was in Dusseldorf, visiting my brother, and they're going 90 miles an hour on those roads, and he just takes the roundabout, and I go, what the hell?
Well, they can't do it at 90 miles an hour.
Huh?
They ain't doing it at 90 miles an hour.
No, but he's doing it at 80 or 70. Listen, I never been in a car that went that fast, and it means nothing to him. And on those roads, they're just going. I mean, they would laugh at us. You got a speed limit. I mean,
you talking about the Autobahn?
Yeah, they don't have a speed limit.
No, there's no speed limit.
No, but I mean, throughout Germany, they're driving fast.
Yeah.
Just even on the residential streets, they just and they don't have any more accidents than we do. That's what
and I'm sure they've done studies that show that roundabouts, or they wouldn't have them. I mean, I just, like I said, I find them annoying because so many people violate the rules. Partly out, I think some are just not aware, and others just think they can get away with it. He's going to stop. He doesn't want to have a wreck, and I'm going to keep going because I'm going to flank this car that's in there already, and I'm going to keep going, even though that car's been waiting at the roundabout to go. There's a ton of that goes on all the time.
I never had so much fun as I had with your wife when I was on the air and insisting that if you drove faster, you saved gas. And she got irate.
That's just the opposite, isn't it?
Yeah.
You burn more gas when you...
But I said,
well, you get there faster.
You get there faster so that you're not driving. And that was
not driving as long.
That was my argument with her.
No, I'm with her. That's a stupid argument.
Well... She thought so.
I
had people...
I agree with Ann.
But then I had people calling up agreeing with me.
You did?
Yeah.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Idiots. It's what makes this world go around. Idiots. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
It's alive out there, bustling with activity.
Yeah.
It's a computer guy.
Yeah. Greg Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Greg Johnson.
We talked to him when we launched Talk Fanatic.
Yeah.
He was one of our, I think...
He's fixed our logging and billing computer. So it broke in a power outage here.
Hawk Fanatic is getting very expensive to run. Our last hosting bill was $333 for a month. Look at that.
That's what we do on KFMH.
That's a lot of money to host for a website.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what KFMH costs every month. Yeah.
How much does this one cost? KCJ. How much do you pay for hosting in KCJJ? Because I remember when I talked to Big Imprint.
It's about that.
Big Imprint told me our site would probably be somewhere between $200 and $250. That was like 5 years ago, which our average is around.
So if you figure inflation.
Our average is around $2. Well, no, I just think Big Imprint knew what kind of site. The company we ended up going with, they hadn't hosted a company like this. They gave us a really low rate, but now we're back up.
Well, Big Imprint hosts the site that gets into our audio and everything. They do a great job too, Ethan and everybody there. But then we also pay for distribution, and that's with another company, and that's $300 something.
Yeah, but we don't do that. But $333 is the most expensive we've ever paid. They're usually about $255, $260. But when we first started, it was $54. Then it went up to $100. Then it went up to $200. It's
going up.
It just continues to go up. That's just the world we live in. And a lot of ours is traffic driven. I mean, the more traffic we attract, the more it costs to host, and
Yep.
the PPOs and all.
Yeah.
I get all that, and our
the more audience we have,
and
the
our
more
traffic,
bandwidth, and
and our traffic is. I mean, hell, we had over 20,000 page views last week. It's in June, and we had over 20,000 page views. Now, part of it was because that wrestler decommitted. That drove a lot of traffic because people could go there and read it free, whereas every other site you had to go and pay to read it. But yeah, no, I mean, usually this is a slow time of year, but our traffic really has not dipped that much.
Well, that's good.
Which is encouraging.
It's
And I think a lot of it is people are used to coming here. You know, we've been around for a while. I mean, we've been around for 5 years. Hard to believe. Hawk Fanatic has. It's been around. We remember we launched it right in June of COVID. June of 20 is when we launched it. So, but
June of 20.
Yep. And I'm trying to think any other Hawk related stuff. I know Tim Dwight got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
That. That's great.
I watched the live stream and actually wrote a story on it up on our website if you want to get some of Timmy's reaction to getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. And God, to think though Tim graduated from City High 31 years ago.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that makes me feel old because I'm about 10 years older than Tim.
Well, of course, I was broadcasting here as the play-by-play guy when Tim was.
I was at. I moved up here Tim's freshman year in the summer of his freshman year because the first time I ever covered him was the state track meet, and he won the 200 meters as a freshman. Yeah, that's when I moved up here when he was just starting at City High.
Hello.
You know, that new student housing building across from the Dairy Queen on Riverside Drive is opening up soon, and I spoke to a guy doing some interior work, and he said that they've got specifically made podcast rooms for the students there if they're going to have a podcast.
Wow.
Fully equipped podcast rooms, which that certainly wasn't there when I was kind of neat.
Just what we need, more podcasts.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I would say that building has been under construction for years.
And just my opinion, I think it's too big.
It's huge.
It's just, I don't know.
And the parking structure's huge.
I miss
huge.
I miss Red Pepper and all that stuff.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, give me Timmy Flynn's back.
Yeah, hell, I miss Ground Round where Staples is. Seriously, I want the old days.
Good piece of carrot cake and the Florida still sitting at Timmy Flynn's place.
There you go.
There you have Golden Corral.
Cheese pumpernickel.
Golden Corral, $6.99 steak special. I used to go eat at the Golden Corral when I first moved up here. When I lived on Summit Street, I'd go down there and get a steak dinner, all you can eat. But I hung out at Ground Round. I used to eat at Ground Round a lot.
Us too.
I liked the atmosphere in there. It was fun to drink beers in there and happy hour.
Get the big baseball bats of beers. You bet.
I loved that place.
And the burgers were
delicious.
Good.
And back then, you could eat them for $6.99 and $7.99. You could get a burger basket for.
And they had the clown there.
Yeah, was it Bingo?
Bingo, and then who was the other one? It was Dave Panther.
It is amazing though how much
it's
it's
was
changed
it
down
Rob?
there.
I think it was Rob.
Rob McCain.
Yeah.
And where Ariza is, didn't that used to be like Duds and Suds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wasn't it prior to that? Was it like Mekon Restaurant, or was that after Duds and Suds?
I don't remember.
I thought it was
concurrent. I think.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's But yeah, it's really changed a lot. But I just think that building's too close to the road. That new apartment thing I think it's too close to the road. It's just too big for that area. That's just my thoughts. But
well, I agree with you, but it
is what it is.
Yeah.
And I want to know, where are all the students I assume not many are living in homes anymore because there's only so many students. They build all these new places like that. I wonder if less are living in homes like on Jefferson and you know what I mean? If there's less of that. See, I'd much rather live in a home than in a big, massive apartment complex.
I think I would too. So a podcast room, that's a sign of the times, eh?
A couple 18-year-old kids talking about their reefer. Hey, look at this bud, Charlie. Don't play any music. Spotify's watching our ass. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Spotify just ready to take those kids down.
And will.
Oh, will. Yeah. You watch some kid will play Stairway to Heaven. Within 5 minutes, he'll be off the air.
Kids not playing Stairway to Heaven. They're playing Diddy.
Yeah, but that's weird to think that they built podcast rooms.
Yeah, that's our world.
I could see you want to make it extra room where if maybe you want to have a workout room, but podcast? I mean,
I still have never listened to a podcast, you guys, believe it or not.
I haven't listened to many. I mean, I don't. I mean, of course, I don't listen to this. Why would I? I'm here.
Yeah.
But no, I don't listen, and I don't listen to any other really Hawkeye podcasts because I don't need to hear my fellow media people talk about stuff I deal with every day. I don't.
No.
I mean, I couldn't think of anything more boring than listening to my fellow coworkers talk about the Hawks. That's just me. I'm not criticized because they may say the same thing about this. Now, I will say, in fairness, we don't just talk about the Hawks. At times, we rarely talk about the Hawks. My brother-in-law said my other brother-in-law was driving to us recently, and he said he listened for like 45 minutes, and there was no Hawk discussion. None.
Did he like it?
He laughed. He said it went to some really odd places.
Well, it does.
But he said that I've always been really odd, so it didn't surprise him. But he said there was not one mention of the Hawks for 45 minutes.
Well, there's nothing going. There's nothing going.
Well, I think this was like in March.
Oh, well.
So who knows?
Oh, that's not good.
Who knows? But no, like now, I mean, we'll have another Hawkeye football coach on here a little bit, but there's just only so much you can do. I mean, let me see. I'll find some Ava Hayden quotes.
Okay.
She was, let me see. I got to go back to my, the videos or the, see, I get recordings for Radio Iowa, and I'm going to go back to those. You know Todd Kim with Radio Iowa?
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. And I've never heard anyone say a bad word about him.
No, but they got somebody that represents him that just drives me mad every fall.
Well, it ain't him.
Just calling and why don't you carry this sports-wide Friday night broadcast, that's like from 11 till 12:30 at night, and they're covering, the Denison High School and, and I mean, it's just,
okay.
Good end of practice for you there with that last round. What's the summer been like for you now as a sophomore?
Ava Hayden.
Yeah, it's definitely been a difference. I think freshman summer was a lot like what's going on type of thing, and now I feel a lot more settled and secure and working hard every day. So.
It seems like you've got some really strong coasts here from the Pacific Northwest on this team.
Yeah, I know.
Even
Layla and I are representing.
You guys getting a good chemistry going right now?
Yeah, definitely. And she's a social butterfly, and so I'm a little more reserved, so we kind of balance each other out, which is great. And we've been working out together and going to places together and just building that chemistry, like you said.
What do you see out of her as a freshman coming in that's so impressive?
Yeah, I think she's got really good size and strength. Coming from Alaska, it's probably hard to find some competition up there, so I think she's done a good job of adjusting to size up here.
How do you guys make each other better?
Well, just playing against each other. Normally we play against the practice players, though, in the summer, but for scrimmages, we play against each other and figure out our tendencies, and when that happens, you can kind of, like Layla likes her turnaround jumper, and then all of a sudden she tests that, and then she learns a new move to counter that, and then same thing for me, too, so just kind of playing against each other and figuring out how each other plays.
Did you see playing at the same time with her? Do you think your skill sets complement each other that way?
I think so. I think she'll be like, she'll be really good against like Warren Betts or Audie Crooks, that type of really strong players. And then I'll be really good against quicker players like Van Sutton or something else. Does it feel weird?
Yeah. And that's an interesting point because they do have different skill sets. Ava's much quicker, runs the court quicker, and Layla's stronger. I think she's going to be able to plant herself in the post a little bit more, but there's a chance they could maybe play together too.
I think that'd be
But
real
it's going to
interesting.
come down to whether one of them can consistently make a 12 to 14-foot jumper. I did see Layla Hayes make some shots from the elbow the other day. I've yet to see Ava Hayden really show that she has much of a jump shot beyond 5 to 8 feet. So we'll see. There's a lot of time, but I do love the potential of those two centers, and they were both top 50 recruits. I mean, they were huge recruits nationally. It's just unusual to have one from Oregon and one from Alaska.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. And she was from Wasilla, right?
Yes.
Which is the restart of the Iditarod, and our band played in Wasilla for, I think, a month.
The Iditarod, man, I didn't like watching that. But they say the dogs love it, but it always just seems like it was doggy torture. But they claim that's what they live for.
They do. They love it.
So I'll take their word for it. My dogs would have said, I ain't pulling this sled, you clown. Seriously, they would have looked at me. They would have looked at me like, what the hell? Like when I try to get him to go fetch.
Get off, fat ass.
I'd throw the thing to Lakota, and he'd look at me like, you go get it. You threw it. That's what my dogs were. You go get it. They didn't like fetch. Did you?
Wopsy will play fetch.
My dogs
but she won't play it ad nauseum.
Well, Lakota would maybe chase it once and then bring it back to me. And then once he realized I was going to throw it again, no, this ain't working. I don't like. And Buddy, I'd never even tried. He would have rolled his eyes. Some dogs, that's the beauty of dogs, though. They're different.
And sometimes Wopsy will initiate fetch, and if there's 4 people in the room, she will give everybody a chance to throw it.
Okay. Now, the German Shepherd that I babysit every once in a while, that dog would chase down any ball until it dropped dead, because that's just the big dopey thing. It'll do whatever you want him to do. He just wants to be loved. Whereas Buddy and Lakota, they chose when they wanted to be loved. This German Shepherd, I mean, it just, whenever I go over there, it's just, I'm his world from the moment I walk into that house, this German Shepherd. And it's always funny because I told you they got the little Yorkie dog.
Yeah.
And my buddy's got 3 daughters. And I asked him one time, I'm like, which one do they like more? They're like, oh, the German Shepherd. And I'm like, why? He goes, because the Yorkie's mean to him. Like, the Yorkie, he'll growl. With the German Shepherd, you can do anything you want to it.
Yorkies are a little.
He's not a Yorkshire. He's not like Megan's. It's the little terrier one. It's the little terrier mix. Not a Yorkie. Yeah, not a Corgi. I get those mixed up. Yeah. So Yorkies they're very stubborn, they're very sure of themselves. But I just thought it was funny. Oh, they love the German Shepherd because he lets them climb on them and whatever. And I didn't realize German Shepherds were like that. I've never been. This is the first German Shepherd I've ever been around.
A lot of them are very nice.
And he's one of the
sweet dogs.
He's the nicest dog I've ever been around.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Buddy and Lakota, but this dog is nicer than them. Now, sometimes
we had
it drives me crazy
runted
because he won't leave me alone.
Runted German Shepherd.
But I'd rather have that than a mean German Shepherd.
I don't even
what
know
are you doing?
that means.
What's going on?
A small German Shepherd. I mean, it was runted.
So how big was it?
About the size of
Wopsy's
Wopsy.
size?
Yeah. Super freaking smart.
Yeah.
I mean,
what kind of dog was it?
German Shepherd, but it was the size of Wopsy.
Oh yeah, my buddy's German Shepherd's got to be 100. It's just massive, and it sheds like nothing I've ever seen shed. It was like your old dog. I just watch it run, and hair just flies off it. But man, the moment I walk into that house and it sees me, boom. I am the center of his world until I leave again.
I have never seen a dog shed as much as Lily did.
Yeah, Lily sheds more than this German Shepherd.
I mean, it was like Pigpen on Peanuts.
Yeah, I remember petting her over by the couch over there, and then the couch was white.
Yeah,
so how often did you guys vacuum?
A lot.
I would probably 3-4 times a day.
No, but at least once.
I bet your air vents took a beating with that dog. All that hair getting sucked in those vents.
I don't know. That dog was the greatest.
Oh, it was a nice dog. Yeah,
it was wonderful.
The time I was around, it was very nice. Yeah, and you guys would love this dog. If this German Shepherd came in here, it would just have the time of his life.
Well, my other dog Barry was the sweetest.
Barry,
he was a nice
sweetheart.
dog.
He was.
Yeah, and then you brought in.
He was a pussy.
You brought in your vicious cur.
Oh, did your dog attack Barry?
Yeah.
Which dog was that?
That was Andy.
What kind of dog was Andy?
She was a foxhound.
Oh, okay. I think I remember
mix.
Andy. Yeah,
She came in.
I think I was at a Christmas party.
We just got the carpeting done at the other studio, and she comes in and immediately just pees all over.
See, that's the problem with carpet.
Peed a lake on the new carpet.
Were you happy?
Huh?
Were you happy?
Well,
he was on the air.
He was so embarrassed, like it was a kid or something. It's a dog, I understand.
Well, it was
a dog.
Also, well, the problem was not only did she pee on the new carpeting, then she went around the corner, looked around the corner, saw Barry, and took off after him immediately and attacked Barry.
So what did Barry
and
do?
Kicked his ass.
No, she didn't kick his ass. He went and sat behind me because I was Barry. We were supposed to protect.
It was a bad beating.
I will say you're lucky that wasn't. You're lucky that wasn't Lakota.
It wasn't a. Bad.
That would not. Lakota would not have handled it the same way Barry did.
He was so embarrassed.
And I don't know how my buddy's German Shepherd would react because it's a big dog. I'm sure that German Shepherd, if it had, my buddy says that like if anything ever happened, like they were walking and his daughters were out and he says that German Shepherd would get so protective.
Oh, I believe that Lily, sweet as Lily was, You weren't going to screw with us.
So your dog, would it have attacked any dog, or do you think it sensed that Barry was a big puss?
I think it sensed that Barry was an easy mark.
Just a big, fragile puss.
He was a wonderful,
Just a fragile puss.
A wonderful dog.
So what do you think your dog would have done, like if that was Lakota and Lakota would have started fighting right back? You think your dog would have kept fighting, or would it have...
Well, generally, if a dog mixes it up, they'll keep mixing it up.
Because it would have been game on with Lakota.
Yeah.
God knows, if that black chow bear from years ago, your dog would have been dead within a matter of seconds.
Indiana could have taken Andy in a heartbeat.
Dogs are afraid of cats oftentimes.
They don't get size. And
no, they understand.
Oh, they obviously don't get size.
But they understand gravity. And that's what I don't...
Yeah, they obviously, because like you said, that Yorkie, that rules that house. That German Shepherd walks on eggshells around that little 6-pound tyrant.
Tabby would sit in the kitchen chair. Indiana would get up on the table and start pushing things over, go around the table and push things on top of Tabby. And just drove the cat crazy.
Well, it's fun to do. Like when I'm babysitting those dogs, I'll look at the Yorkie and I'm like, I'll talk him into going after the German Shepherd. Go get him. And he'll go up to the German Shepherd and growl, and the German Shepherd will run and hide even though it has poops bigger than this Yorkie. It's just hilarious watching that play out. They just don't get it.
They don't.
And the Yorkie was there first, too. It just like Buddy kind of had seniority over Lakota. I think dogs sensed that, too. Lakota was the new addition. Lakota could have ripped Buddy apart, but he never ever took seniority other than humping him at first. And
there is some kind of a code,
I think there is.
Code.
Dogs understand.
Animals. They do.
I think they understand.
Yeah, we have a Yorkie at the end of the street that is the surliest. I mean, we walk in front of the house and that dog just goes crazy. It's just, I've never heard anything like it.
See, now my buddy's Yorkie loves me too, and he loves climbing up my leg. But like if they're both fighting for my attention, the Yorkie will growl and the German Shepherd runs away. It's always that way. So you're saying when you walk by with Wopsy, that dog's always, is it out in the yard or is it like looking through a window?
Looking through the door, the screen.
Uh-huh.
And it just...
So if it came out, would it run up to you think?
Oh, my God, no. We've been out walking at the same time, the dog just goes bananas. Just absolutely loses its S every single time.
I know Rob Howe has 2 small dogs, and if I'm ever on the phone with him, I can always tell when somebody's walking by his house because they just bark nonstop. That's just, you know.
Well,
Wopsy does some too. But
all my dogs would if they're on this side of the street in front of the house. If they were on the other side.
But that's also a good watchdog too. I mean, you know.
Hello.
If you wear a military uniform, Joni Ernst will hump your leg.
A what uniform?
Military.
Oh. This is your guy. You guys judge him.
This is my guy. No, your guy. He's your guy.
He's here with or without Hawk Fanatic.
No, he's on your payroll.
He's your property.
Yeah, he's your payroll.
He's your spawn. Now, that one was not very good.
Yeah.
No,
not at all.
He had been better lately,
yeah.
But that wasn't great.
Yeah. He falls into this one-trick pony thing.
Well, he's obsessed with Joni Ernst.
You know, now he is. Before he was,
was, what's her name?
Henson.
Yeah.
Henson.
Ashley Henson.
Henson lost a lot of weight. And
she looks pretty good.
Oh, has she?
Yeah, she's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But I think it's because she finally got out of journalism. You know, journalism was just weighing her down. She's a recovering journalist.
Yeah.
Didn't she refer to herself as that?
Yes.
As a recovering journalist?
It pissed me off. It still does.
Yeah, that kind of irritates me too. But
is she running? Some people at Channel 9 what they think.
Is she running for governor? Have I heard that?
No, she decided not to.
Oh, okay.
When nobody would support her.
Oh. All right. So are they still? They're still waiting outside the courtroom.
Yeah.
He's going to come out anytime soon, Connie.
He comes out carrying a big thing of oil.
No.
Baby oil.
He'll come out with 2 women on
2 women, and he's pouring oil on them. What a country we live in, huh?
It's a cluster. Okay.
So this Friday and it's next Saturday that it's the table to table.
Yeah.
There you go. This is where you...
This coming Saturday, we are here.
Yes.
It's fine. The following Saturday
is table to table.
Table to table. Yeah.
And that's where you're going to be at Hells
Saturday.
Bank? You're going to be at Hells Bank? Didn't
Yeah,
you do
Friday
Hy-Vee?
morning.
Didn't you do Hy-Vee a couple times?
Yeah.
I remember one time you
A lot
did
of
Hy-Vee, and it was literally like 119 degrees out there.
Oh, my God.
I remember walking in and, hey, you want to sit here and join us? And I'm like, no. It was hot as hell. And you guys are out there
Well,
pretending like you're having a good time.
Well,
this is great.
Trying to raise money.
Oh, I know. You're good cause.
It's a very good cause.
Good cause. You know?
Great
But
cause.
Just,
Yeah.
why don't you ever do it like in April? Why do you always do it when it's hot?
Yeah, we did, and we ended up getting rained
It's a
on.
monsoon.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was cold.
Yeah.
I'd much
Got
rather
sick.
I'd much rather be sitting in 45 and 50 than 90 and
We
100.
had Anthony up in a crane.
That was the first one.
The first one. And
Up in a
he's
cherry
broadcasting from a crane on the Coralville Strip, and it's pouring and lightning. And I said, you think we should lower you? And Anthony goes, no, it's fine up here. You know.
Why were you doing that? What was the point?
Stunt to grab attention.
You don't do stuff like that anymore. You guys have mellowed. You don't live on the edge anymore.
Excuse me.
That's true.
Just going through the motions.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just going through the motions.
It's the motions.
There's no cutting edge anymore.
I don't know about that.
Well, there's
Can't remember the
some
last time.
edginess.
When's the last time you guys did something really zany?
Zany. I like that buffo.
In the old days, you used to fart on the air and play with puppets.
Tommy
and
Lang did that a couple weeks ago, much to my chagrin.
Oh, he actually. Oh, yeah.
Yes, he did.
Were you guys Were you in different rooms?
You know,
I wasn't. I was listening on that.
That brings up. Yeah, he hates that. He hates that
Farting on the air. Well, I'm not a fan of it either.
And then I don't remember who the guy's name was or anything, but he was the assistant principal at West High, and he came in here, and was he buying some auction items or something? He's buying anyway. He goes, "Oh, you know, I just love it when Tommy farts on the air." And you just looked at me like, "Jeez."
Yeah.
He's assistant
And I'm still
principal.
looking at you like that.
Well, excuse me.
Yeah, it's just. Well, I don't find farts funny.
Nor do I.
Period. In any setting.
But there is a group
Especially
of people.
if they turn into sharts.
That's a different subject.
That's another story.
And the older you get, there's a better chance of those being sharts. Right? You a big fan of sharts,
Weren't
Captain?
those long darts back in the day? Sharts? Wasn't that what they were?
Back to the Hawks?
No.
I thought we were done.
I don't want to drag the Hawks.
No, the Hawks don't deserve this.
Yeah, they really don't.
They do not deserve this.
No. Okay.
I thought we were done.
God, it is already 10. I didn't realize it was 10:40.
We are done.
And he's still not, nothing's changed.
No.
They're still waiting.
So can we assume he's just sitting in his jail cell probably right now?
No, he's in the courtroom.
Oh, he's still in the courtroom?
Yeah, they're still arguing.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, I didn't realize. I thought maybe they'd said, okay, well, let's take this last call.
This important call.
Hello.
That's somebody doing a fart.
Yeah.
We're gonna end it.
Sounded like bagpipes.
We ended on that?
Oh, God. Well, what we're going to end on is Tommy Lang and Captain Steve are next with police reports. HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
KCJJ Weather.